We shall certainly test you with fear of hunger and loss of property, lives, and crops. I cite the Holy Quran. But in the Holy Quran, the Prophet, peace be upon him, is called to give good news to those who are steadfast. We have, during the last 2 days, viewed man as a part of nature rather than as a creature outside of God's natural creation. Man is thus entrusted with the care of earth and the creatures that inhabit the earth. We call for reconciliation between humankind and nature. The dramatic events in Afghanistan in the last few days remind us, among other things, of the words of Pope Francis, who says, "Indeed, justice requires recognizing and respecting not only the rights of individuals, but also social rights and the rights of peoples." Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Giddens proposed the concept of ontological security, al-ilm al-wujudi, when he referred to an individual sense of order, security, and continuity within a rapidly changing environment. For instance, if an event occurs that is not consistent with the meaning of the individual's life, this threatens their sense of belonging and confidence in their identity. For over 5 decades, our region and our extended region have witnessed a war once every 10 years. And in this regard, sociologists and psychiatrists argue that ontological security is threatened by anthropogenic climate change. On a societal level, migration from environments degraded by climate change breaks the continuity of the bond between the people and their land. So what do we have today? We have the challenges of ecosphere, of sociosphere, or dare I say, ecocide and sociocide. We look forward towards our shared future as Daisaku Ikeda, this great Japanese inspirer of thought, puts it in constructing an era of human solidarity, when he calls for leaving no one behind. Our first commitment must be that we never leave behind those struggling in difficult circumstances. Yet we have 1 billion people on the move. As a member of the Refugee and Migrant Council, I would like you to know that food is in great shortage, in severe shortage, and that the funding of UN agencies is at the moment, as you have probably discussed, a major challenge to the vulnerable sectors of society, women, children, and the elderly. We have to move from the vulnerability-based approach, the status-based approach, to the development and self-reliance approach in multilateralism, in cooperation, and in peace building. We cannot cherry-pick energy and climate change without talking about education and human dignity. The United Nations Economic and Social Commission for West Asia reports that we have 55 million people in West Asia requiring humanitarian assistance, and that the vulnerability of displaced women and girls is heightened in a pandemic. So we have reached a portal through which we can pass and reconfigure and reset our thinking and our priorities, or if we are completely vulnerable and bereft of our own identity and our own will, we have to suffer the consequences of post-conflict insecurity. Yemen, Syria, Gaza, and Libya are frighteningly vulnerable to the onslaught of epidemics. What will peace uncover there when the wars end? Gray areas in politics in which zero-sum games and the perverse logic of mutually assured destruction proliferate give no possibility for the rise of mutually assured survival, because the logic of mutually assured survival cannot accept gray areas. Jordan faces the trilemma of hosting more refugees, taming the budget, and supporting vulnerable communities. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated the situation. Of course, we are not alone in this, but from a broader perspective, multilateral cooperation for a regional recovery is of the essence. In Christianity, peace has been a key message, a lodestar of the religion doctrine. Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out all those who sold and bought in the temple and overthrew the tablets of the money changers. My house shall be called the house of prayer, but you have made it a place for thieves. End of quote. In Islam, it is the religion of peace. In fact, the name of the religion, Islam, literally means peace. In Islam, right to life is absolute. I am delighted to see that finally, after years of calling for the right to water as a human right, that this has finally been recognized universally. But in the Holy Book, the Quran, he who kills a soul, unless it be in legal punishment for murder or for causing disorder and corruption on the earth, will be as if he has killed all humankind. The right to peace and religion in education is recognized in the International Human Rights Law, Article 26 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Article 13 of the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights of 1966 requires state parties to provide the right of everyone to education, to promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship. Today, we have tens of wars raging in different parts of the world, and the ethics of difference means polarity and destruction. In fact, there are no ethics of difference without accepting plurality, diversity, and respecting the right of others to have rights, to have a view. In the words of the Holy Prophet of Islam, I ask no reward from you for this, only the affection due to kin. Cultural affinity, ladies and gentlemen, affection and kinship, fraternity and social friendship, as His Holiness the Pope says with dismay, how much our human family needs to learn to live together in harmony and peace without all of us having to be the same. There is a distinction between politics and policy that we must be cognizant of. Health, education, the nexus between food, water, and energy. These are policies with hopefully the continuity they deserve. Regarding human dignity, in the words of my friend, Professor Evelyn Lindner, we have to move from humiliation to human dignity. Maybe next year we can hold a meeting to this effect. On injustice, I think the time has come to recognize, as in the words of the book of Matthew, for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. And as for fraternity and social friendship, the Bishop of Rome has stated more than once the importance of finding a fertile terrain for growth. I just want to make the different forms of growth clear in terms of positive actions or non-commitment. Growth can be achieved without committing with a social conscious or a social consciousness. I speak of Jerusalem in terms of consciousness. We have to reject injustice, we have to reject poverty, and we have to reject discrimination. which inexorably leads to more conflict and more war, but on the ethics of the difference and the horizons of the diversity that we seek, two parties that diverge find themselves on a plane where the I, or the ego, is central to and identical to the truth, and sits uncomfortably across from the truth. So I would like to suggest to you, ladies and gentlemen, that not a threat to the sanctitude of religion, relativism, is an invitation to acknowledge the truth of parallel endeavors in the search for the right of righteousness, if you will. Not self-righteousness, but correctness, as opposed to the reduction of difference to a struggle between truth and falsehood. Where hubris and hate converge, they call forth abuse and exclusion, and those who disagree are repressed, excluded, and silenced. I would like to send my paper to you, Your Eminence, to the Cardinal of Bologna, with the deepest respect and with my apologies for not being able to attend in person. And I would like to conclude my remarks by asking, finally, whether Jews, Christians, or Muslims can start with the definition of the real issues, responding to the feelings of exclusion, avoiding ghettoization, developing dialogue within and between faith traditions. I would like to propose, as I did to the Catholics Bishop Conference, to the conference held in Brussels last year, that a worthy recommendation for your consideration is the creation of a Center for Humanities for Middle Ground, a terra media or Mediterranean in our Mare Nostrum. Let us build this middle ground before we are all confounded by the rising tide of violence in this world. God bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.